right, welcome to the Golf Locker Room. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room, episode 28. We up in here once again. We are back in the house. We got two great special guests. I mean, what can you ask for? We're here. What up, Trish?
What up, what up, what up? What y'all up to, fellas? What's up, Golf Locker Room?
What's good?
We good. Everything's looking good. Big Siff, what you got going? How's everything?
And I can't complain, man. Had a lot of sunshine here in the Carolinas. I
Okay.
actually got invited down to play Grove 23 the weekend of the 26th, but I'm not going to be able to make it. So hopefully my guy can move it.
Okay.
Got a special invite by the man himself.
That's why, man, you better make it. You better make it, man. Go on and play that. That Fork Union is fire, too. I like that Fork Union pulley. That's pretty dope. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, man, you better go on down there and play with the heir apparent himself.
Well, we're going to try to move it. We're going to try to move it the first weekend in March. So hopefully
Nice.
that can make that happen.
All right, take a few pictures. We like that. We like that. All right, let's move. Let's move on to the news. Move on to the news. HV3. Come on. HV3, he's a winner. He's a big winner. I like it. What y'all got to say on that?
I got a question. I'm just trying to wonder, asking for a friend, how many bandwagoners jumped on when HV3 dropped that 92-foot eagle putt?
I don't mind bandwagoners. I hope they just stay. Yeah, jump on. The more the merrier. Yeah, I don't mind bandwagoners. Jump on, be a hater, then jump on. People like winners. People like winners.
But they talk so rough about the man when he not winning. That's my only thing. That's
couch
all.
people. Couch potatoes, that's just how it is. It's worse in basketball. It's worse in football. It's like that in all sports. It's even tough. Yeah. Very, very dope. Sif, what say you, brother?
Hey, that's my man. Talked to his dad 2 days ago. Very proud of Horrell. I knew it was coming. He's got the game. He's got the temperament, and I knew it was a matter of time. And I posted something the other day on one of the chats about kind of to what Trish said about guys who were talking noise the week before, and I was really making jest of it because anytime that you are professional, you're playing a professional sport, you're subject to ridicule. I mean, we do it all the time. And so, I was just making jest. And Horrell understands that. He knows that he's going to be called out for not closing and things of that nature. So, talk to him, during the Thanksgiving holiday. He understands the whole gamut. But anytime that we get paid to entertain, we're subject to ridicule
and critique. That's true. Yeah. That's true. But I'm glad he won. Winning breeds winning, and so far right now we got two brothers going to the Masters as of right now.
Yep.
As of right now, we got two of them going to the Masters, and if both of them go or they don't get to go next year, they can go. That's what we got to understand. Patience. This melanin gets better with age. Don't let them fool you.
Doubt.
While others are on their down, we on the way up. So just put that in the back of your mind. Sometimes we got to stay in the oven a little longer. But when we come out, that's that fire. Tender, ready to roll. Tender and ready to roll. So we're going to give up on HV3. He gets an air horn. And I think he's going to be at an AZ too. So we get to watch him over the weekend. He's going to be at the Western Waste Management and AZ. And all good.
Hey, Manny.
Yeah.
Hey, before we dive into the to our guests, I know you had made comment just the other day when the Saudi golf people were throwing money around. And it's in terms of trying to use some of the American golfers to kind of be the face of what they're doing. And I know you had said something about.
I do. I have an opinion about that. Competition always is good. And I still believe all money is not good money. I'm not saying that to say that the Saudi money is bad money. All money got blood on it. Everybody's money pretty much got a little blood on it. But I would say, and what I said in the chat, I still believe and hold true, that if you want to be great, because, the Heralds, the Cam Champs, the Tigers, the Mickelsons, they want money, but they want legacy.
Right.
And so you need to beat people and beat the courses that the legends played on.
Right.
And that right now is on the PGA Tour. Do I think it was great that the Saudis did a tournament on the Asia Tour, and look what happened? A 90-foot putt, putt won in grandstanding. And so that does show you that other tournaments and other tours can entertain you and be a piece. And I will say this, if you're football or you're an NBA person, hey, there was competition and there was a couple of leagues and they had to join them in. We got the 3-point line because of a rival league.
Right.
You know what I mean? The ABA brought in a 3-point line. I think they brought in a couple other things. The AFL with my boy, Crazy Al Davis, rest in peace. He was the commissioner of the AFL. And, when those teams, when that merged, it made the NFL greater. Not saying that the Asia Tour or the Latin America Tour, Asia Tour has to merge, in which I still think they have ties to the Bcgca Tour. But competition breeds better entertainment, better competition, and probably more money. So to discount it, it's crazy because we see what happens. It was very entertaining. Our boy won $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It could spawn him to go on and win more on the PGA Tour. So you can't kick that out to the curb. But I
just said if it's, and I kind of agree with you. You make your mark here, because what you can't afford to do in some light is to get your USA card revoked.
No, you can't do that. Don't do that.
But if it's legacy changing money, when I'm talking about my granddaughter, my great all the way down, if it's legacy changing money, then I get it. But $135 million for those guys is not legacy changing, because they're already making millions.
They're already 100. They're 200 and 300 millionaire. I will say this. The PGA Tour, I believe, and I'm not on tour, and the players like it, but I come from an entertainment background, and Mickelson made points about name and likeness. When he did the match, he wanted to use some of his clips, and they charged him $1 million for his own clip, which I understand the NFL does it, the NBA does it, but guess what, folks? That's guaranteed money. At the end of the playoffs, when you go to the playoffs, they all have a meeting. The NBA has a meeting, and they cut a check for playoff money. And that's directly from TV rights and TV money. So the tour can't have it, to me, both ways. You can't have all the rights and not have end-of-year payout money.
Right.
You're not paying for any. Well, I think they started doing retirement now. I hope. I know the caddies don't have no health insurance.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? I know. I don't think the players don't have health insurance, but they're on TV. It's yin and yang. I think they're going to get together. I think we're going to see some changes because competition breeds pretty much good changes. But I wouldn't kick Mickelson's point and just calling him greedy also out the window. He has some points. He has some points, and he has skin in the game. And he's helped made the tour. Anytime they get mad at Tiger, they want to go to Phil anyway. and be like, look, Phil's our poster boy. Tiger's a bad guy. He cheated on his wife. Phil is great. So, they can't have it both ways. So, I think in time, the PGA Tour will have some changes, probably because of competition. And hopefully the generators of the money, which is the players, will benefit more. But they did say TV money is about 55% goes into the pot. But if I don't make the cut and I'm on TV, I don't get anything. Break mines off, something. Some chicken, something. Let's give a hand out for chicken. Break me off something. Nah, they got good tour lounges and player lounges. But yeah, our money's not good money. I think the tour is where you need to go. That is the pinnacle, I believe. They hold the cards. They've worked hard to make the cards, but don't laugh at the others. It could be treats because of competition. So that's kind of like my opinion on it, But hey, I'm not on tour. I'll be on any tour if they're gonna give me some bread. Which you can fly me out to Saudi. Let me tell you, I'll be on them camels in the evening and playing golf in the morning.
A mess.
I ain't mad at you.
For sure. All right. We got guests. Enough of us opining over stuff that we just opine about. We, as a podcast, have taken a love and a liking to the HBCU golf. Not to say that they wasn't getting a lot of pub and promotion, but we just always like to promote HBCU golf. Not only is the historical Black colleges, they do such a wonderful job educating our youth where others didn't want to educate us. We now see the value of the education and a great segue into collegiate level golf. D1, D2, D3, they're getting some scholarship money. They get to get that education. And I think we're finding our people and people as a whole are finding a love and an importance for the HBCU golf. And so tonight we have a great guest that represents HBCU golf in its glory and its finest. And we also have a gentleman that's dove into helping kids find HBCU golf and other college golf, I believe, and just getting it together to get them in school, which is it's the most important thing, is getting them in school, graduating them. And if they're playing golf and honing their skills, then that's just a bonus. So we got two great gentlemen, and they've dedicated their lives to helping youth get that degree and play competitive high-level collegiate golf. I don't think anything's better than that. I know we love it. We bring on as many HBCUs as possible, but I'm going to let you, Trish, introduce our guests, and then we're going to just bring them on.
All right. So we have this evening, joining us, we have Craig Bowen. He's the president of Bcgca, the Black College Golf Coaches Association. And we also have Darren Horrell. He's the founder of playcollegegolf.net. So we're excited to have both these gentlemen on this evening.
Very nice. Let's give them up. Let's bring them on.
What up, y'all?
All right, there we go. Welcome.
Hey, man, what you sipping on? I need one of them.
Oh, man, let me tell you. I need
What's up?
Send me your address. I'll shoot you one.
That's right. That's how we get down, too.
I know that's right.
Dig it.
Gentlemen, thank you again for coming, Mr. Bowen, Mr. Darren. Thanks again. We're going to dive right on in. We'll start with Mr. Bowen, president of a great organization. Tell us a little bit how it started and the mission, so we can get right down to business.
Well, the Bcgca started in theory probably about 20 years ago. And it consisted of all the coaches at the HBCU schools getting together and complaining and bitching about what they didn't have.
Okay.
That's right.
And that's what it started as. And so as we progressed on, we got a little more modern and brought some more updated thinking to the scenario. And so we actually became a legitimate organization. We've got our 501c3 charter. It's been about 3 years now. And, the ability to have somebody hit the donate button to help our kids. And we were basically developed to shed light on the rich legacy of HBCU golf and what happens in HBCU golf and where it started and where it came from. I played HBCU golf as a player. I then went on to work with Titleist. I worked with Titleist for 12 years. And I was the give it away guy for the black colleges and the black golf pros and the junior golf organizations throughout the country. Did a lot with the Black Enterprise Golf and Tennis Challenge, blah, 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 blah. But we put it out there that black schools have golf programs, okay? And so we've got, right now, I've got 36 member colleges, and 25 of them are active with us, participate in our events. And what we do is it's our job to have events for our HBCUs that aren't played on municipal golf courses with no sand in the bunkers and with improper scoring and just foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we partnered with the PGA Tour. We signed a deal with Farmers Insurance. We just re-upped our deal with Farmers Insurance. And, man, Farmers helped us brand our organization completely. And, we look like everybody else. Nice. And so it's because it's come such a long way. And it's really nice to see our kids. We play at Chateau Elan. We'll be at Prestonwood Golf Club in Cary, North Carolina. We will be at Harding Park in October. Wow. And, we do something down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and that'll be in March. And so, man, our venues are courses that, man, I feel like it's our job to create an experience for our kids, but to also leave them with something that makes sense for them to help get kids attracted to our HBCU colleges. And see, if we're talking about getting right into it, our parents need help. Our black college parents, high schoolers, need help getting their kids to our HBCUs. Okay? I'm by no means a racist, but however, when we got HBCUs that have folks that don't look like us, that's always been a problem for me. I went on HBO Real Sports in 1997, talking about our white colleges having our black colleges having all white players, and so that didn't go over very well. But somebody, hey.
You got to keep it 100. We keep it at 100.
Hey man, we can keep it 100 here, right? I can take the corporate. I can take my lid off, and we can get it in. All right, thank you. So yeah, I went on HBO and I called some folks out. Like, listen, come on now. I could have played. The coach at LSU laughed at me when I came in to want to try out for his team. I was beating up on half his crew, but he laughed. He told the dude there's some nigga came out here wanted to try out for my golf team. So all I had was Southern University across the street, and so it's enlightening. Our kids are just missing. Me and Darren are finding kids all over the country that these black colleges don't know these kids can exist, and they can play a little bit. Okay. And so, Darren, I'm gonna pass it off to you, Darren, or that way, for him to talk about something that we're involved in. Because, man, there's some good free money out there for our kids.
Yeah, come on, man. Just stop it. Stop that.
Hey, man, and our parents need to be coachable.
There's some good free money out there for some kids to get an education and play some collegiate level golf. You teed it up great, Mr. Bowen. For Darren. Darren, come on in, introduce yourself, tell us what you do and the mission you and Craig has joined on.
Again, thanks for having me on tonight. This is kind of one of those things Craig and I have been working on for a bit here. I've been in this realm and this area of golf, which is my passion, is junior golf, is really where I've kind of settled into now. And play college golf has been always a dream of ours, of putting together a program that actually helps junior players understand what it actually takes to get to the next level.
Nice.
So many of our players and parents, as Craig attested to, think that if my kid just goes and plays, somebody's going to come and find them and offer them some money. And golf is not that game. I mean, there's too many rounds in the round of golf. There's too many variables that go along with it. And it's like any other basic job is the way I look at it. You know, for a high school kid who wants to play on the next level, you have to have a calling card as far as before you start contacting schools. And what is that going to be? It's not going to be your playing resume, because it's especially in these times, coaches don't come to tournaments and sit and watch one player. You have to have a resume or something that is basically going to be your story that you're going to be able to control and send to the colleges and universities that you're interested in playing in. And so that's what Play College Golf is about. We're not a recruiting agency. I call us a resume creation platform company that has an emphasis in college golf. That's what we do. I don't guarantee scholarships to kids if they come into our program, but what I do tell them is that I'm going to let you put all the information that it takes in a format that college coaches have signed off on to get you in front of them and to get that contact started, which is the biggest concern most parents have. My kid's not being seen by this or that college. Well, this is how you get there.
Nice. That makes perfect sense, because if a coach doesn't have 1,000 eyes and 1,000 ears, and I'm sure HBCUs don't have a huge recruiting team if they have a scouting and recruiting team at all.
Right.
So what you're doing, and I'm sure Mr. Bowen, Craig, you can attest to that. Like, we ain't got no scouts.
It's a one-man shop. You're the accountant, you're the bus driver, you're the reservation maker, you're the doctor, you're the psychologist, and it's all you. And if you've got men's and women's team, it's 15 student athletes that you're trying to manage.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's so prevalent now with our student athletes have been through a lot these last 3 years with the COVID. Our kids are going through some mental health issues right now.
Okay.
And ain't nobody talking about all that. Nobody's talking about all that. And so, yeah, man, you do everything. And what happens with these resume services, and there's a lot of agencies that are out there that charge our kids or charge people in general thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And see, from a coach's perspective, if you don't look right on paper, it's easy for me to hit next if you're one of those coaches that relies on the internet to recruit. Okay? And so what we try to do is we try to provide a realistic snapshot into the child's life. You create some scores, man. You gotta have numbers, because golf is not. You can't rely on your teammate if you're not shooting the ball the right way. You gotta either you do or you don't. So the illusion that with some of our parents is that their kids are really top level. I want to go to Michigan State to play college golf because they got a fast swing speed. But man, we get so many just things that are just, it's like, where the hell did they get that? And why,
a lot of misinformation.
And as a coach, why would I even be interested in that? It's like, what? Come on now. Can the boy break 80? Let's start there.
Okay. That's the talk we like, real talk. And I'm glad you guys are creating a platform, and we're glad the coaches of the HBCUs has gotten together and really getting organized. But like you said, we need these juniors, and golf is getting a little more popular. We have a little more junior programs, a little more people going through the first tee and other platforms. But it means nothing if we can't navigate them the right way. All for nothing. Parents spending money, parents gobbling up bad information, spewing bad information around, and then blaming everybody else why little such and such didn't get a scholarship or partial scholarship or even got a talk to from a coach. And I think what you guys are doing is just fabulous, because now we can put the feet to the fire and be like, there's no excuses for not being prepared.
Absolutely.
It's no one's fault that don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. But you got to get.
If you know and don't listen, and see, for me, I've got full access to these coaches. You know, I sponsor these colleges. You know, not I. Let me change that. The organization sponsors these colleges, and so, you know, if I know a kid is local in North Carolina and I see something, I can say, man, you might want to check little Jojo Horrell out. He's pretty good. That kid from Dallas, you know, he can play. And so it's a different, it's a helpful assistance, quote unquote, not placement, but, you know, you need to go talk to this guy over here. He might be able to help you. It's just kind of brokering and go to the intermediary between, you know.
And people know what that is. Yeah, it's a plug, a little plug, and what you do with the plug is on you. And, you know, Sif and Trish, either one of you guys, dive a little deeper for me.
Okay. So Darren, so I know, you know, you came up in golf as a youth golfer yourself. You have your daughter. She's getting ready to, you know, go to Howard. That's exciting. So, you know, when you say youth golf became your passion, and so could tell us, you know, what made you decide to come with the platform, and then what information did you decide to like put in? You know, he shared with me the link to go in and try it myself. So I want him to, you know, explain, you know, what's the information that's going to be captured, and how is this going to help assist the youth golfer that's coming in, and what age do we start these kids at?
Right. Well, you know, me personally, you know, I think I come from both sides. I mean, I've been in golf for over 20 years. I mean, I've been out on the tour for 3, you know, seeing the best players in the world out there and what it takes to get to that level, and guys that come in and come out, the young guys that are coming in from college level and the struggles that they have as far as coming in and playing. I've seen the college level, but because all the guys that I hang out with, I know you guys had Andy on last week. Me and Andy have been running around together for 7-8 years. I've seen him when he was at South Mountain, and we'd go through resumes and looking at it, and it was always, you know, I wish I could find some better paper on some of these kids. I can't tell what this kid, if he can play or if he can't play. And, you know, I'm not willing to put my job on the line for something that I can't, you know, denote a positive success. And so that's where we went back, and I went back, and my daughter at that time was young. She was 10, 11 years old, and she was starting to play some decent golf at that point in time. And that's when my passion started. Like, you know what? I want to help these kids, because that's where the game gets grown from, is from the grassroots up. I mean, working with the pros and those things, those guys are already there. Let's go back the other way. And so we really drafted this in a way of, you know, what is the information that guys like Andy and coaches across the country want to see? They don't want a 4-page resume put together by mom and dad with all kinds of information. What's your favorite color? What the dog's name was? They don't have time for that. They're usually in the middle of coaching a team at the same time as trying to recruit. It's not like football where they have recruiting teams that go out and find players. Golf is a self-promotion sport, and that's the one thing that every parent needs to understand. It's self-promotion. There's 1% of the players that are across this country, junior players, that don't have to worry about that. And that's honest. The top 100 schools are chasing the top 50 players. And if they get them, fine. If they don't, now they start going down their list of what kids have been on my program that I've seen that I have an interest in. And this is what you know, this resume does. The services that we provide, you know, we sat long and hard and thought about what are the things that we should have on this, not to make it where it's too intensive, because college recruiting is confusing. I mean, it always has been. I mean, and for a parent that's first year, first time, first kid coming into college recruiting, how are you to know what are the things you're supposed to do in order to make sure that your kid is eligible, like clearinghouse numbers, although nobody tells you that, you know, there's no book on this. So that's where we came back and said, let's put together something that is all inclusive, that shows everything. So first piece is an editable resume template. And what I mean by resume template is that it takes the thinking out of it. We went and found everything that the college coaches wanted to see in a resume, and we put it in a template. So you're not, I'm asking you the question, and all you got to do is give me the answer. You don't have to think about what it is. The only thing you're writing on this resume is your personal statement. And I think every kid, if they're going to college to play golf, they should have a personal statement. Why do you want to come to my school and play golf? That's the only piece that they are writing. From there, this has always been a thing. My daughter especially, and you know, any junior golfer, when they play in a golf tournament and they play 5, 10 tournaments in the summer, what do they do with that information? Usually it's in a shoebox or it's somewhere. If they got a medal, there's a medal there, there's something there, but they don't keep the numbers. My daughter was the worst. It was like, you know, 5 tournaments ago, what did you play? What did you shoot in that tournament? I have no idea. So my first step was, let's get something where they can record all this information from every tournament they play in, every achievement they play in, on an easy to put in platform that they can just put that information in on their phone when they leave the golf course. The information I'm looking for, I ask them for their score, I ask them for the distance they played from, what place they came in, and what was the name of the tournament. That's all I need, because that's all these coaches are asking me for. The third piece is really, you know, the swing video pieces. It's great to put numbers and everything down, but at the end of the day, there's 3 things that the coaches are going to look at. They're going to look at what your score was, they're going to look at what your academics are, and then they want to see what kind of move that this kid makes. So we cover the academics piece. We have everything in there that we emphasize academics, because the ACT, SAT scores are huge when it comes to golf. Golf is a smart sport, because most of the time people have to get academic money to fill out their teams as far as to fill these things out, because there's only 4 and 5 scholarships for an 8, 10 person team. So academic money is huge. So if you've got good books, you just move yourself up the ranks. So a 4.0 student that shoots in the mid to lower 70s is attractive than a kid that shoots 70 but has a 2-point grade point and I got to give them a full scholarship. I got to use a whole boat for them. Whereas the other kid, I could get them half academic, half athletic, so I can go 2 for 1. The site itself has all the updated coaches directories that everybody has. You know, that's across the board. The thing that we do that's a little bit different is that we give people team info and team demographics. So I tell you how many juniors, seniors, sophomores are on each one of these teams. So you know when you're looking at a team, I don't want to go to a school that's got 4 freshmen and 3 sophomores on a team. It's just and there's no money. There's no money available. Yeah. You know, you want the senior, junior laden team because there's going to be money that's going to be available. We also ask the coaches in that to tell us what opportunities they have. So we have a classified section that the schools will come in and say, I've got 3 opportunities for 2022, 23, 24. So now you're not sending it to somewhere where you don't know what you're sending it to. They're telling you they got opportunities. So I think, you know, and Craig can attest to this, and Tricia, I showed her everything that, I mean, we try to be as thoughtful as we could as far as all the information that we are putting out there, that we didn't ask for anything that you don't need. But the resume has always got to be your first step in college recruiting, because it's like any job. You're not going to walk into a job and say, hey, I'm here today. You know, did you see what I did in my last job, the project I did? They're like, no. But here's my resume. You know, you can tell me all that. So the site is good, and we just need to get the word out there that this is a very important step. And not just because it's my company as far as what we do. There's other companies that do it. I'm not telling you you have to use mine, but I'm saying get a resume, get something together where you can keep all your information in one place.
Nice.
Very nice. Let's get that up. And the important piece is you didn't guess. You went and got input from the coaches who we are soliciting our children to. And if the people you want to pick your student athlete tells you, this is what I want to see, this is the time I have, I'm used to seeing this template, I can pick and choose from something my eyes are used to, by all means, use that template. You're giving yourself a one-up where you don't have to worry about, is my format right? Is my information right? I went on, Trish let me go on the site also. I love the fact that you can upload a down the line, face swinging, because people want to see, like you said, that action. What kind of action? The numbers look good, but let me see that action also.
Yeah.
I just think it's phenomenal. I don't know if you want to share the price, but we got
special pricing for this, for everyone who comes on here that we want to put out there, because at the end of the day, and I think we all are in the same boat here, is my passion is junior golf, and I'm not going to come in and tell a kid I'm going to charge you $500, I'm going to charge you $1,000 for me to help you to get to the next level. I'm going to make it as cheap as I can possibly make it, because I'm going to store all your information for all your years. If you're an 8th grader, I'll keep your information until you're a senior in college. I mean, a senior in high school. And the pricing that we have on this thing was $299, and that's across the board. And the re-up on it is only $99, and that's all storage costs. That's all it is us being able to store all your information, all your swing videos in one spot. I mean, I wish I had this when Morgan was playing, and she's done as of after this semester, but it would have saved me a lot of time. Even though I'm in the business and I was doing hers, the way that this is set up, it's so much simpler to be able to send information, because even now, if you're going to play in a big tournament as a junior, they ask you for a resume.
That's true.
They're asking you for information. What are you going to send to them? Craig has seen them. I've sit there and watched and seen resumes that come across the desk of the coaches that I know, and it's frustrating. It's like, this kid may be a really good player. Maybe, but the way Dad put it together in the backyard with the video, and the way that the information is what you're telling me, you're not telling me the things that I need to know about this kid and his playing experience, because the obvious end result is a college coach is going to want a kid that shows them consistency. I've got to be able to trust you on the golf course to be one of my 5 players that are out there, and you're going to shoot a number that's going to end up for a team. That's the real deal. And if I can't trust you, how can I have you on my team?
No, real talk. One quick question. So you have players, they've been with you for a while, and I love that you said they can start from 7th, 8th, 9th grade and just keep uploading and making pertinent changes as their life changes. What do the kids send to the coach? Is it a link, and then someone can just click the link and get all the information? How do they go about soliciting their resume to would-be coaches?
Okay, so first step is, of course, filling out your resume. And I'm glad you said the younger kids, because the younger kids aren't sending stuff to college coaches. But why it's so important for a 7th, 8th, 9th grader to be using our program is now they can build that consistency, showing that improvement from those younger years up to where they get into the high school years. But it also is that place where they get to understand record keeping and keeping those scores and showing what it is, showing how you play. I was a 10 handicap when I was in 7th grade. You know what? I'm in 8th grade. I'm a 5 handicap. I'm in 9th grade. I'm a 2 handicap. A coach, and Craig, you attest to me on this. I want a kid that's going up the ladder versus a kid that I find that, hey, this kid is a 2 handicap and they haven't moved anywhere in the last 4 years. They're still playing the same golf, because there's only one way to go in this game. You know, if your ball's going to come back to you sooner or later. But we want the kids that are going forward as far as this goes. Yeah. And so being able to get to the coaches as far as the kids go, we don't have our name on anything that comes with their resume. Every coach has said, I want to hear from the player. I don't want to hear from a recruiting service. I don't want to hear from anybody else but the kid. We give them template letters to be able to send to the coaches that are right there, that they don't, not to be plagiarized as far as the letter goes, but here's the essence of the letter that you need to send to the coach. Then they can PDF their resume by clicking one button. So when they put their information in on our template, it creates their resume for them right there. I think Tricia saw it today. You click it shows you a PDF resume. It looks perfectly fine as far as what it is, but it doesn't say play college golf on it anywhere. It's your resume. It's coming from your email address. It doesn't come from anything from Play College Golf, and it goes directly to the coach.
That is so.
Loved it.
so
I loved
nice.
it.
The
Yeah.
other thing that we need to talk about too is that our kids, we trying to create good habits. You know, responsibility for oneself. So if we start at 6th and 7th grade, 8th grade, now the kids know, all right, I got to put my scores in. That becomes part of the routine when they go to the golf course. Mom and dad bring them home, or they go and shoot 88. I got to go and put my score in. And so now it builds that snapshot of this child's life, and I think it creates to me a more personal approach to the matchup. You know,
You have control of your own recruiting. That's what we're given. That's the biggest statement. You know, Craig and I were talking about that today, is that I want to have control of where I send my resume and know that I'm not just sending out blank paper and I don't get it back. But that also goes back to us helping these kids. And I think that's one thing that we do that other sites don't, is that I've got an info address there that I'll answer any question from any parent, any kid, if they've got a question about anything. But I want them to be realistic on their playing ability and send it to the right schools. I mean, don't send it to the University of North Carolina or Wake Forest if you've got a score. If you're a +8 handicap, it's a waste of time. It'd be nice paper, but the coach is not going to look at it. He has time to look at that. You know, send it to the schools that fit the playing ability where you are. There are hundreds of schools that are out there that we know no names of them. I look on GolfStat all the time at all the different tournaments and see all the different names of the schools. And the first thing I say is every one of those schools has 4.5 scholarships that they're giving out every year.
right?
Every year. That's a lot
You know,
of money for our kids.
You know?
Sif.
Craig, you've garnered my respect in a matter of 2 minutes, so I'm going to call you Doctor. Dr. Bowen.
Oh, my man.
Just the way
I'm
that
humble, bro. Thank you so much, man.
yeah, just from your attack angle. I too have the same sentiments in terms of HBCUs having majority white players on their golf team. I can't put my head around it. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something that just doesn't pass the look test. And so for me, we share the same sentiments. Also, the thing is, this question is for the both of you guys. It's like football with Huddle. You know, Huddle is an application or an apparatus that college coaches, just for those who don't know, you guys know, that these kids can send out their huddles to different schools around the country. And coaches can look at the huddle and identify the kid. He can highlight himself, blah, blah, blah. It's made things a lot easier versus the videotape back in the day. You're sending around the VHS tape. And so the thing is that sometimes you could potentially miss something in huddle. I talked to a college football coach one time and who didn't have a huge budget. And so HBCU. So he thought that he was getting a lineman because it's easy to miss linemen, big guys. He thought he was getting a 6'2", 280-pound lineman in, and when the kid came to campus, he was, 5'11", 215. And so now, but the thing was, that scholarship, he'd already, signed the kid to a scholarship. So my question to you guys is, you have a kid who's a sophomore, junior in high school, and he sends in the application. He sends all his data to you guys to put in the application. And he's like these guys on the web.com qualifiers that goes and shoot 95. Do you reject his application or do you accept his application, charge him and shop it?
Let me go first on this one, Craig, because we've got information to this. So my old statement that I used to make all the time when we were doing this, the first initial parts of this company, we were doing combines, and we would go to individual cities and we'd watch kids hit, and we'd have a scoring system, and we'd put them through hit 3 shots 100 yards, hit 3 shots 125 yards, and there'd be a number that went along with that. So you would always get a number. And there were kids that were really good, would hit the number every time. You have some kids that never hit the number. The one thing that we realized out of that whole idea is that was kind of subjective, because we could never with golf pick who was going to be the kid that was the best player out of the group. We always tried. Line 20 kids up, which one's the best player, without seeing them swing the golf club. Every time we were always wrong. We were always wrong. The one thing that I always say to them is there's a place for basically anybody who wants to play college golf. At the Division III level, at the lower level, NAIA level, the JUCO, they have kids that I've been to national championships, Division III national championships, where kids that were on scholarship, their numbers were 82, 85, 87 for the 3 days. And they were on scholarship. So I'm not going to tell somebody you can't play. I'm going to say be realistic on your dream as far as where you want to play. Don't be sending it to University of South Carolina. Send it to the right school. So that's the realism piece that we have to put in there. You know,
Hey, Darren.
the dream is the dream.
Darren, quit lying to them people.
I'm telling you, the dream is the dream. The dream is the dream. I can't tell somebody that their dream is not real. You know, it's finding somebody to put them on.
No, real talk, because if somebody's shooting 82s, 83s, and 84s, but still get
They
scholarship,
ain't got a chance to go nowhere except down the street. You know?
Yeah. I mean, if you pick the wrong school,
school, it's over.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, go to Golfstat. Go to Golfstat and look at the tournaments that are on there, but don't look at the Division I school. Don't look at Division II golf. Go look at some of the NAIA scores and some of the Division III schools, and just look at the scores of some of the schools that are in there, and look at the players, and look at the scores they shoot.
Right. And I guess, and I don't disagree. I'm just pulling your leg, man. Here. I know sometimes it comes a point where we have to be, and I know Dr. Bowen. I can tell Dr. Bowen's spirit that he get down. But it's some point that we have to be honest with our young people. I mean, and I'm probably the stickler for this. If you can't play, you can't play. But it's somewhere for you to play. You can go to first tee, you can go out to the Muni, but your game isn't where it needs to be in order to matriculate down this path. I mean, I know y'all coach, man. You see it all the time.
I've seen so many posers. We had at one school I was at, the school name anonymous, went and recruited somebody off one of them scouting services, right?
Right.
Little girl walked in through the door, and the coach was like, "That's not who the picture was. This girl had transposed the picture and the data. This girl hadn't played a day of golf in her life. Knocking it in the cart, it was crazy. It's like, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? You know?"
Well, that's a good segue into how do you verify the information that goes on your site.
Every tournament that's out there nowadays is somewhere nowadays. I mean, the information that's out there, they've got Birdie Fire, they've got all the different things that the high schools go through. You can go through and look through anything, and you can verify anything. And we have a statement on there. I mean, anything that comes on there that's not verified, and we find out it's not, we take it off immediately, because automatically cheating the game is one thing that we don't even want any part of. I mean, our credibility is all we have, and we're trying to put together a service that not only helps the junior golfers, but it also helps these colleges. Like I was telling Craig today, my site is not really set up for the Division I schools, because they can find anybody they want. They don't have a problem recruiting people. If you talk to Andy, he gets 20 resumes a day of just at VCU. I mean, but the Division II schools, the NAIA schools, the HBCUs, those people, they get resumes, but do they get the quality of resumes that they want? And this is what we're doing to increase their quality of paper that they get. That's across the board what I want to do. And with that helps the kids, because now they're taking a look at the paperwork that we have put together, saying, now I can see what this kid can really do.
Right. Hey, Darren, and I'll be quiet, man, after this. But Darren, you're absolutely right. And I'm the thing is this platform is definitely needed. I mean, if I'm a coach It's gonna, matter of fact, cut down on time and money to determine who's matriculating into my university or organization or college. Prime example, I'm here in Salisbury. Livingstone College got
Andre Springs.
He got seven dogs.
Ooh,
Right?
Man, does he?
From Uganda.
Man, let me tell you.
If your platform was in place, Andre may have not have gotten those kids. You see what I'm saying?
Man.
But you would have given those kids an opportunity if they would have chosen your platform. They could be somewhere else. I'm glad that they're here,
right?
Because they're gonna cut heads off. But I mean,
tell you what, man, they won my Division II title in Gulf Shores. Let me tell you about these kids.
No,
and man, listen, you just got me excited, sir. So these African kids, man, they came in, their clubs was raggedy. They got there from sunrise. They were the first ones there at the driving range. And after they won and got the trophy, they had the trophy sitting on the driving range. Everybody else had left. And they still just hitting balls. But we just love to play with that accent. And I tell you what, man, those kids, I fell in love with those kids. Honestly. I mean, it's just the work ethic and the appreciation for what we do. Mm-hmm. I mean, man, these kids, it brought tears to my eyes.
Mm.
You know, I come from a family of educators. My dad was the first black school superintendent in the state of Illinois. My mom was a guidance counselor for 30 years. So we got a flock of people that we've helped over the years. These kids were the most humble kids I've ever seen, man.
Ever.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. But digging it out of the dirt.
But the Darren's point, though, if those kids, say, for example, if you have kids like that, okay, they're from Uganda, but you've got some kids in the States that don't have an opportunity, don't get to showcase their talent, and they're very, very talented dogs, man. You go to the local Muni course, and you got some kids that'll cut your head off.
Right.
But if Darren had his platform in place, and the kids and the parents knew, well, I won't even say the parents, because I'll say the parents, but you know as well as I do, grandma raising some of them, auntie, she raising some of them, don't know. She's 70 years old trying to raise 2 kids. So that's why we have to do a better job in terms of getting that information to these kids and to these aunties and grandmas and parents and things of that nature, where they can plug into a platform like Darren and showcase their talent. Because I guarantee you, if those kids from Livingstone would have went through Darren's platform and uploaded their videos
and they're all straight A students, they all straight A's.
They wouldn't be at Livingstone.
No, they be yeah.
Man, those kids can play. And see, our kids, let's just get we can get real, right?
100%.
Our kids have got to this right here with our kids.
Exactly.
Man, they 10 days late and $1, $2 short now. And so, man, I used my days to drop me off the driving range, and I would hit 2 large buckets or a large bucket just to warm up before I started practicing.
Right.
When I was coaching, these kids would hit a large bucket. All right, coach, we good. I'm like, no, you're not. And it's a whole different approach to the game.
Work ethic.
You gotta have your mind right going in. I had kids crying on the golf course because they didn't prepare properly. And so I'm a no nonsense kind of guy. I'm sure you probably kind of know that. It's been good and bad for me, but I ain't scared no more. They can't fire me, so I call it like I see it. You know, I work with Darren. We work with each other. We don't work for nobody.
Right.
And so, but our parents have got to do a better job. You know, we get pushback. Darren, tell me how we get the pushback about our price.
Right.
You posting about the cigars and the hats and the clubs and all that other stuff, and you can't drop $3 for your child to get a shot. Come on now.
A college scholarship right now, just an average college scholarship, $25,000 a year. So you're talking $100,000. So if I'm sitting here and saying, will you invest $200, which is the special that I'm going to give to you guys for everybody that's listening for this thing for the next 5 days, $200 to invest in your kid for the opportunity to get money, even if they only get half. Okay, they got $50,000. You got $50,000 for $200. If I gave you that bet right here on the street somewhere, you're taking that all day long.
All day.
You're gonna take that in the skins game,
right?
You're gonna take that bet in the skins game.
Yeah.
Always.
And this is for your kids. And this is to help you not have the headache of calls that Craig and I get from a senior in high school that hasn't done anything and wants to play college golf.
In 4 months of graduation, I want to play college golf.
I got no history. I got no scores. I'm only got this summer I'm gonna play. Can you help me find a school to play at? What coach can I go to and say, I got no information on this kid, but can you give them? And they always want money. They always want,
always.
They always want a full ride. And so the earlier you can start this process, which alleviates that. I want everybody to have their kids, by the time they're at the end of their junior year, they verbally committed to someplace. Somebody.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. If somebody's mad at that, they ain't serious. They don't want their kids to play.
They don't want their kids to do that.
They're not serious. And and it's easy to weed them out and be like, you're not serious. Because what happens is, if they need the 2 or the 3 and they got an actual plan, like, look, my kid is playing. He's been playing for 5 or 6 years. His scores are getting better. I don't have the whole 3. We always willing to help people. And it's up to the parents to be like, go to church. You be giving for the last 30 years. Ask some of have a collection. $200, $300, $400 is reasonable to get your kids on track. Because once you start uploading and filling out all the information, it don't disappear tomorrow. It's there for you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. You're building something real that's not going to go away. You might move to aunt's house. You might move down to Nana's house because grandma's sick. Guess what? Your resume is still intact. Your information is still intact. The coaches can still get a hold of you through your resume and your own cell phone and your own social media, no matter how unstable maybe your life is. But the lifeline is coming because you might get a ride. You might get a half ride or a full ride. But no matter what your situation is, you got a home base of information that's pertinent to the people you need to pull you with that lifeline. So I know I'm all for it.
And the last thing on that is that, we're not going to keep anybody off of our site. We're not about that life at all. I mean, Craig would tell you that I will do whatever it takes. If there's a situation that needs to be handled as far as to get someone onto the site that really wants to play, we're going to do everything we can to get them a resume and get them started in the program and give them all the support that we will. But the one thing that I don't want to do is to say, hey, I'm going to give it to you for free, because we know if whatever you get for free, you think of it as free. And this has way more emphasis on it than a free product, because everybody that I show the product around anywhere in the country, as far as they're like, that's how much? $500, $600 for that? I'm like, no, $299 is all the retail price that I put on this thing. They're like, you're killing yourself. I've said it's not about that. I'm not doing it because my kid isn't. My kid's done. I just have a passion for junior golf, and I want to help as many kids as I can. Now, it's for our people as far as that goes, but I'm opening it up to everyone. I mean, because the resumes for every kid. There's kids in small towns. I'm up here. My mom's in Missouri now for the winter. I don't know why. It just, it's winter time and I'm not around golf. But I see these small towns around here have really good players, and they have no contact with coaches because they're in small places, and everywhere around the country is like that. How are they going to get their information out there? They don't play in high school golf that has competition enough that anybody looks at it. And it's not Texas where you got 10, 15 Division I players every tournament. They might have one. And so they need a voice. And this is the thing. Control your own narrative. This is what this allows us to do.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very dope.
But see, here's the thing, though. The common denominator has changed over the years. At one point in time, Tricia's probably too young to remember, but at one point in time, the common denominator for us, for Black folk, was the same. We were poor. We were, let's just say Jim Crow. That'll put it in a nutshell. So when you have when you have these kids in those small communities like what you just named, Darren, like back in my day, you had people to rally around someone who they saw that was talented and that could make. And so, you might have had my man down the street that wouldn't let you come on the block, but he said, I'm gonna put this $250 in your pocket so you can do X, Y, and Z. So community involvement, even if a parent can't afford it, somebody in that community needs to say, that kid's talented enough. We need to go ahead and put that money up so that kid can get on that platform and get seen and get out of these hole in the wall areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love your idea. I love your product. Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say you just built a great mousetrap, and something so simple, but it's so needed, and it doesn't have to be regional. Anyone can do it to have some internet. The kids from Uganda can do it with social media. Somebody might hip them. It might be another crew. Like, man, let me upload my stuff and get my stuff together. I might get pulled to that heavenly gates, America, and get that money.
Right, and it is. It's availability.
And it's so funny because it's so timely. About maybe 4 to 6 months ago, I don't remember what it was. I got on with one of these Facebook groups, and there was an angry father that talked about his kid was in the top, whatever it was, in their country with junior golf. Well, how come none of your coaches don't know about it? Were the words to me. And I kind of had to take a step back because my street in me wanted to respond one way. But I had to think differently to say, well, have you gotten them out there properly? Have you sold them? Have you called somebody? We're talking about black kids in golf, and let's get down. Let's get down to the get down. All right, George Floyd. I'm sorry you lost my brother, but I got companies calling me daily. Craig, can you find me some black kids to go to work? Farmers, Titleist, Wilson, Cleveland. I got so many different golf companies calling looking for kids of color. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty for a minute, can we? Our black colleges have got to do a better job at realizing what the value of golf is. All right?
That's facts.
We, in the most part, this is going to sound, the golfers and the folks that are familiar with the game of golf are going to be better potential applicants for your company. The engineer that knows how to tee the ball up or takes a golf class is going to have a better chance if I send him on an internship to Titleist. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so at my Hall of Fame tournament in Atlanta, I've been begging the college presidents to come out and see what we do. Man, I've hosted career fairs. I've got folks that want to have multiple Zoom calls, the whole 9 yards. It's like a snowball that starts real small, and now you got arms and legs and heads and signs and buildings hanging out of it. And everybody's trying to bring some black kids in to go to work. Okay?
Man.
And so, I care about your 5 golfers getting into school, but let's talk about little JoJo from the hood that's a damn good engineer, but he don't have a resource to figure out where he needs to get an internship at. He goes to your local HBCU, not having any clue about the $4 billion a year golf industry that we don't get opportunity in. I was the first black man to walk into the building at Titleist in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Ooh, come on now.
Yeah, come on, let's get that up. It's just great. It's like the Wild Wild West. It's bare, it's barren, and there's so much opportunity. And for a time, because it won't be always, I think we have a few more receptive ears to open those doors. Those doors won't always be open, though. They open a little bit. They crack now, but that ain't guaranteed they always going to be cracked. Please, you guys, seize more opportunities so that you can hold the door open when they want to close it. You already in. Put your toe in there. Be like, nah, we ain't closing them just yet. I'm going to stick my toe in this door and keep it open.
I want to share one more thing with you guys real quick, if you don't mind. You need to have a guest. His name is AJ Montesino. AJ Montesino was a white boy, Italian, that played golf for Jackson State back in the 90s. AJ Montesino caddied for Tim O'Neill after he got out of college, was on the team with Craig Hocknell. But AJ Montesino carried the bag when Y.E. Yang beat Tiger at the PGA Championship up in, I want to say it was up in Minnesota at Hazeltine.
Yeah,
okay?
At Hazeltine.
AJ said something to me that was so profound. He's like, Craig, playing black college golf saved my life and taught me how to heal. And so as we start talking into he runs a company that's called God is in Control. I wear the hat. If you see my little shtick that I did at the APGA, that God is in control, and that's what his mantra is. And AJ is such an amazing spirit that as we get into what it takes to get to that next level of golf, he gets into the spiritual journey that goes along with that. And it's a lot more deeper than the numbers that you put on the card. And so I'm going to link you all up because he's an amazing human being and he's got a message that can help all of our kids and all of our people. So that's it. I'm done.
That's what we do. Not only do we keep it 100, we want real people with real life stories and real experiences. That's the only way, man, because we got a little platform and we're trying to make it bigger. So these stories and people like you guys can always come on and give us some of that real and tell us what we need to do better and what we're doing right. Quick overview. How are we doing in junior golf? How are we doing? I see you over there. I always ask this question, and it's just, and people can answer it any way they want. It's not a gotcha question. I just like to get a tone or a feel on the overall picture, not just pinpoint specific things. So I always just, how are we doing in junior golf?
I'll talk about it from my side as far as being a parent. As far as a high-level junior player that goes around and plays in a lot of tournaments. When we first started, getting out and playing in events, there was only a few kids of color playing in events. And, the reception was always good. I mean, we never got any pushback on anything, but I thought a little bit of that because, my kid had a pretty good golf swing. She always finished in the upper levels of the tournament. There wasn't any of that kind of stuff. But as the years have gone on, I see more and more kids starting to come into the game of golf, especially in the junior level. Texas is a little different because they have 3 tours that are playing every week. And so you see a lot more kids. The competition's there. And I always see 3, 4, 5 girls that are there all the time that are playing, that are always – and girls of color are always in the top 15, 20 because they're athletic and they're playing. But as far as sheer numbers, I think that the number of the kids that we will see coming are in the 8 to 12-year-old range right now. That golf is really cool to them right now. And, they're seeing things. They didn't grow up in the Tiger era. They grew up in the area of hearing about Tiger, but they're seeing some of the other guys that are getting out there. Yeah. That's going to be the next push. And that's where kind of where I'm looking at it as far as saying to the parents is that let's get on it early. Let's not wait because there was a whole group of kids that are a little bit older than Morgan that are 18 to 22 that missed that boat, that there wasn't anything for them. There wasn't a whole lot of instruction, first tee and those kind of things were still kind of fledgling. Instruction wasn't cool. Now these kids are playing. When I go around the junior camps, there's a lot of kids of color out there playing, and I'm not just saying just black kids, Hispanic kids, Asian kids.
We need it all. I like it all.
Yeah,
I like it all.
Golf is becoming multicultural a lot more, and I think it will always begin to stay this way. But like you said, that window is going to stop if it doesn't do something. We're not going to keep opening these doors and giving you all these opportunities if nobody shows up. I mean, how many people called us on the APG thing, which I think is great, but they were, it's just another case of someone else winning other than us. And I'm like, APG is a great start. There will be other kids that will be coming up behind that are going to be, it's going to be multi playing in that thing. And it's going to make it a great thing. I mean, it's just the way it is. The last note that I want to tell parents and any parent that's on here is that you do not get a second chance when it comes to high school recruiting. You only get to go through high school, which is the only thing, one time. When you're a senior and you're out, you're out. You know, you don't got no but to walk on or do anything else if you're a player. So you better do all the things you need to do right on the front end to be able to go there, because when it's over, it's over. It's over, it's over. And that's what our company does, is to help you get to that point. I hope
sooner better than later. Sooner meaning maybe middle school.
Yeah.
I would suggest.
Yes.
At least start getting your feet wet. Yeah.
Majority kids are. Yeah. Majority kids are playing, and they are up to speed on what they want to do when they're 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, because you don't have to do it, but you don't want to do it and be late. Be early. So much easier. Craig, I seen your head. Guess what, brother? How we doing? How we doing?
Good. I'm all right. I'm just listening because, you know, our junior golf thing is just, you know, since they invented the participation trophy, that you just get a trophy for showing up,
right,
and a damn juice box.
Right.
And I done taught these summer camps, man. I teach these summer camps, and I just look at these little kids like, Jesus, what happened? You know what I'm saying? It's hot. I need my junior. Where's my thermos? All that foolishness. I'm trying to teach you golf. And, you know, I do this little camp at Jackson Park in Chicago. And some of these kids could actually, if they just applied themselves, just give me 30%.
Right.
They could potentially find that they might have something for this, you know? And I don't know. I want to talk about the junior golf programs, Dr. Dorsey down in Orlando and Bill Dickey Group and the junior golf organizations that have been in existence before the first tee or before Tiger was even a thought. Okay. And those organizations have essentially gone away by the how can I say this? By the corporatizing. Did I just make up a word? That's a new colored word, y'all. Corporatizing.
You know exactly what you mean. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Exactly.
Corporatizing black junior golf. I was in the room, and Tim Fisher said, if Tiger's going to do this, I've got to control the narrative for junior golf. I was in the room when he said it. And that's when, you know, the first tee was invented. You know, they've helped a lot of people. You know, they've helped a lot of people. And I've got friends that work at the first tee. I'm doing some stuff at the first tee tomorrow in San Francisco. But as a coach, Lord, I'm probably going to get barbecued for this, but I'm going to go ahead and say what I got to say. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My screen just froze up.
Frozen a little bit, but we can hear you good.
Okay. First tee ate up all the money that's helping black kids in those desperate communities, man. It is what it is. You know? Yeah. And I think they're trying to change their approach a little bit. But man, our junior golf programs have really, really suffered. And the people that were the sewn-up soldiers in junior golf, I mean, those ride-or-die folks, they got kids eating out at their house in the backyard. All those guys have pretty much expired. You know what I'm saying? We've lost a lot of those junior golf folks that you show up hot and sweaty, ready to work with our kids. We've lost a lot of those guys. And so the day of the throwing 10 kids in the car with their bags and going to a tournament, eating bologna sandwiches on the way up there, all that's gone away. And that's where, when you look at the kids that are them dogs and black college golf now, our kids come from that. You know, this new group is a whole different, a whole different mindset.
Unfortunately, the parents bring that mindset. Man. And we ain't hungry like we should be. We ain't hungry. But you know, there's a few of them out there. You know, there's a few. Thank God we got a few of them out there. Maurice, he's on the show. He's been out there grinding. Got his daughter at Howard. Darren, you got an addition going to Howard too. So you know, y'all are out there. Thank God, y'all are out there. We just need a little more. Trish, we gonna not wrap it, but wrap it up. Let's get some final questions.
I got so Darren and Craig. My mind's always constantly thinking while we're on the show and
We
we're
might have
talking.
lost Craig. We might have lost Craig.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, he's in the game.
I'm just, my screen is just messed up.
Okay, well, we got you.
Stuck in
That's
one
all.
position.
It's all good.
All right.
So for Darren, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, as you're marketing this or the people that you're focused on, I'm sure you've already thought about it, but I'm sitting here thinking about, you know, like Ice Academy. We had them, you know, those folks on the podcast, and, you know, reaching out to them and possibly, you know, connecting them with what, you know, the service that you provide. You know, I'm thinking about Youth on Course, you know, spoke with them, you know, out there at the PGA show. Is that something that could, you know, you could work with them again? Because if we're tracking them from 8, you know, we want to try to start tracking them from a young age, you know, this would be a great resource for them. So I'm just thinking out loud. And then with Craig, so what I'm wondering is, so we're talking about the different, you know, invitationals and things that we're doing with all the HBCUs. Have we reached out to Stanley Campbell down there at Martin Downs, you know, to see if there's an event that we can put together down there with those folks? You know, he's a HBCU alumni from FAMU, Black owner of Martin Downs. So just again, thinking out loud.
We are open to all suggestions, people, places, things. We're here to help. You know, and I've got a pretty good outreach, but I don't know everybody that's doing and folks, this whole thing's about just getting with the folks that are being right with it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's everything.
We got a bunch of posers out there too that are in it for the wrong reasons. And so, you know, we as an organization, man, we are ready. You know, I've got a new partnership with SAS. We're getting ready to do a HBCU championship tournament in Raleigh, North Carolina at Prestonwood, where we're going to be playing with the senior tour players alongside during a real tournament. And I'm so excited.
So dope. Yeah, that's because that is exciting. That is so hella exciting.
You know, I'm glad I don't have to play, but I'm glad to watch our kids be able to showcase how much we have developed. And so you all, I would love to, so me and Darren have been talking about doing a couple of podcasts weekly with different junior golf organizations. You know, we need a moderator to help us. Okay, we're going to talk to ABC Junior Golf Organization. Let's get the parents and the kids. We've already done one already, and I thought it was successful for our first one.
Yep.
But all those organizations that you talk about, they need to hear this. And the parents need to hear this. And so whatever we can collectively do as Black people that get it, that understand, that have history, that know right from wrong and how to do stuff, let's put the list together and get out and kind of, me and Darren we're two guys with 4 hands. You know, we need some help getting the word out.
Definitely, and that's one of the reasons why we started this platform, is to bridge, build villages. Once you come on, you're welcome to come on anytime. Anytime you need to just get something off your chest or anything we can do, we're going to be right there. Because if we do build a village of real ones, then we're going to be strong.
There you go.
Absolutely.
That's the key. That's the key. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on. Definitely, we will have all of your information in the liner notes. Trish is our plug. She's going to always keep in touch. And we're going to have to work. We're going to work on something. We're going to all have to come together and work on something. And get this word out. Darren, I just really think you're onto a winning formula, getting our kids in. And I think that junior high school, 12, 13, getting them in early. If we had kids that couldn't afford it, you know, then it's up to our podcast and people we know to start putting up money to get them kids into your web. Because, you know, and the fee, and I'm just going to keep it 100, family. The fee it's nothing. I promise you. When you start digging into cloud storage and using AWS, you use Amazon storage. I don't know if you do that, but I know it's costly. I promise you. And no one's going to the bank with this idea. But guess who can go to the bank? them
No.
kids gonna go to the bank with them scholarships
Right.
and playing high
Free
collegiate
money.
level golf. Exactly.
Free money.
We always talk about this. Nobody's doing this. It's money out there. You just got to know where to dig for it. It's gold in them hills. You just got to know where to dig for it. And the road is through Darren's resume.
Manny, let me tell you, we're doing this thing for. Tricia's got the information. There's a discount code that you can go in and get this thing even cheaper. You know, and so it's already on.
Gonna put that.
Yeah,
we're gonna definitely put that on all our social media, Facebook, IG, the liner notes in the YouTube. This podcast isn't. It runs forever, and people come back and listen to it. We're also on every podcast. If you listen to Spotify, Google, Podbean, all that'll be in the liner notes too. And we'll just keep up with you guys, get updates. Just because we run it now, we need to run it again in a couple of months because people gonna forget. And I just believe this is a utility, one of the few utilities that's out there that's gonna actually help our kids for the long run. It's not a one-shot thing and someone's gonna buy a shirt and the shirt's gonna get too small. No, you get a resume and you upload all your stuff. That's gonna stay with you until you get to the promised land, to that college, and get that money. And again, thank you again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we ain't gonna keep y'all no more. We had an hour 22 minutes. Craig Bowen, he gonna be on a lot. I can tell because I like him. We cut from me, him, and Trish and Chris. We all cut from the same rock.
We come from the same place, don't we?
That's right. We're a little out there. We ain't
man, you don't have to tell me. I'm just not coming back from out there.
Hey, I would say this though to both Darren and Dr. Bowen. And Dr. Bowen brought it up earlier about Floyd. And so the thing is this. We wouldn't be getting these opportunities with diversity and inclusion if it not would have been for guys like Colin Kaepernick, Ahmaud Arbery, Mr. Floyd. So you guys, when we talk about junior golf, you guys need to hold the people who have gotten these positions in diversity and inclusion. You need to hold their feet to the fire. Because the infrastructure, they're on the inside. And so if you're there to get along, then you took the wrong job. So you got to hold those guys accountable, hold their feet to the fire to make sure that what they say that they were going to do for people of color in the game of golf, make sure it gets done.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've got, and this has come in the last 7 or 8 months. We've got some really good people that have the ability to listen, okay? And some of them admit, hey, I don't know what the answer is, but can you help us figure out what the formula is? Both people of color and folks that look like, the white folks. And so the conversations that we're having now are much more substantive. It's less ingratiating. It's less patronizing. They really want to hear what the hell needs to happen for us to be better. And so, man, I've been pissing them off for 20 years now, y'all. And finally now, though, we've got some folks that say, wait a minute, this guy might have been right 20 years ago. I'm going to send you all some links on some stuff that kind of underground stuff that talks about what we're talking about, just so that you can have a deeper understanding, okay? So, nice. Trina, I hope, give me some contact info if you don't mind, okay?
I got you.
And I just want to share this info with the group here, okay?
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
Great. And again, family,
thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bowen. Thank you, Darren. We're definitely going to keep in touch. To all our audience members, thank you guys for tuning in every Wednesday. We really, really appreciate you. The podcast is nothing without our members in the chat and watching and adding all their knowledge and ideas and opinions to our show. And with that, we are out.
Thanks,
Y'all.
y'all.
All right, that is it. Our outro has been played, and we are done. Again, thank you guys, brother. Thank you, Mr. Darren.